This project is going to walk you through how to build your first app in our app and game design class. And you can see from the first grading term, first app is going to be a project called Animal Sounds. You can also see this video inside of this sub-lesson here. But let's go ahead and start. So we're going to click on AppInventor, and it's going to ask you to sign in with your Google account. I'm going to go ahead and use the class one, which is Gant class. I'll allow AppInventor to use it. When it opens up, mine will look a lot different from yours because I have previous projects. This is actually the finished project, what you're going to make. You're going to have 8 animal sounds with the names of the animals on top of an image. When you click on that animal sound, it's going to actually say this is a lion, and it's going to say play a sound of the lion. You can see you have a bunch of components here, and you'll get used to this interface. But for you, you're going to start out with an empty screen. So you're going to go to Project, start a new project. You're going to call it Animal Sounds. And since I already have one, I'm going to call it Animal Sounds 1. But your project should be called Animal Sounds. And you can see the AppInventor workspace. So you can see on your left, you have your palette. And your palette has a bunch of different sub-palettes. So you have user interface with a bunch of different components. You have layout, where you have some components, media, drawing, sensors, social storage. Everything under your palette is what you use to build out your various apps. Then you have your viewer, and this is obviously where you're going to design your app by pulling different components and placing them on the screen, or hidden components to place on the screen that you can code with. On your right side, you have your components. So every time you add a component here, it's going to be listed here in a tree structure, and you'll see that in a second. And you can see you have your properties menu. So basically in AppInventor, you're going to use a component over here, add it to the screen. Then you're going to modify the properties here. And in the background, underneath blocks, is where you would code it. You can also see you have some other components up here. You've used my project. You can see some things there. Connect we'll talk about later. That's to connect and test your app. Build is where you wanted to build it. Install it. You have some screen options. But for this project, we're simply going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing you always want to do when you open up a project is under Screen 1. And right now you can see Screen 1 is selected under Components. Since Screen 1 is selected, the properties are referring to my Screen 1 or my main screen. So Screen 1 is always going to be the first screen that opens up on your app. So right now you can see it says Screen 1 here, but I don't want it to say Screen 1. I actually want it to say Jamie Gant's favorite animal sounds. So again, anytime you want to change anything about your app, you're going to change it in your properties or coding. So I'm going to look in properties. You can see about screen is blank. It says align horizontal is left, align vertical is top. It says my app name is Animal Sounds like this. Now app name is what's going to show up when it's installed on a phone. So I don't want it to say Animal Sounds like that. I'll put a space and I'll say Jamie Gant's Animal Sounds. So when someone installs this on their computer or on their smartphone or tablet, it's going to say Jamie Gant's Animal Sounds. Background color is white. Let's just say I wanted to make it black. You can see it changes it black. Close screen orientation, icon. Now icon, here's something else you always want to do first. So you want to change your app name. You also want to change your app icon. So your app icon is the icon that shows up on the app window. So your Facebook logo is the icon for Facebook. Well, you want an icon here. For this project, we want to use a picture of yourself. So I'm going to Google my name. For you, you can go ahead and So I'm going to save this picture. And going to save it inside of pictures. I'm going to make a folder called Gant Tech. Oh, I already have a folder called Gant Tech. So inside of Gant Tech, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a folder called App Design. Inside of App Design, this is my first app, animal sounds. I'm going to keep all my stuff in here. And this picture is of me, Amy Gant. So now back over here, so far what we've done is we changed our app name. This just shows up on the app screen underneath the logo, the icon. Icon is set to none. I want to change that. I want it to be a picture of you. So I put that in pictures. I put it in Gant Tech. It was app design, my first app, and you see Jamie Gant's right there. So I uploaded it. You can see Jamie Gant's there. Nothing happens. That's because when you install it, again, this icon is what shows up on your screen. Screen orientation, right now it's like that. Let's say I wanted to keep it that way. You see I have default animation. Let's just say if I did portrait or if I did landscape, you can see you can actually change it to be that way. Let's make it portrait. And the rest of these, remember I talked about the screen one? So I was kind of fishing to find out where is the screen one. I changed the app name here, Jamie Gant's Animal Sounds. Changed the background color, I changed the icon to be me. And now I want to change the title. Title, Jamie Gant's favorite animal. Let's call it Jamie Gant's favorite animals. When I push enter, you can see Jamie Gant's favorite animals. Up here now you can see the app names is different. Jamie Gant Animal Sounds, and I can change this to be Jamie Gant's favorite animal sounds, whatever you want. So first thing always you want to do when you open up an app under screen one, you want to change the app name. Make sure it's readable. That's what people are going to see in their app screen when your app is installed. You want to change the icon so it's not the default to something that's relevant so people will see that. Your screen orientation and also your title. Next, let's just jump in here and let's add some buttons. So again, we're going to make eight animals and 8 animal sounds. So I'm going to go ahead and drag 8 buttons. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now here's a dilemma. Whenever you drag it, you can see it says button 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But in coding, you want to know what you're referencing. So we're going to rename these to the animals. And the shortcut is going to be BTN, which stands for button, and then the animal name. So I'm going to say BTN dog. I'm going to rename this BTN cat. BTN, let's say turkey. Sure, why not? BTN elephant. Oops, I didn't do this right. BTN cow. BTN chicken. BTN, what else are we looking for? Lion. And BTN duck. So if you look at this, all I said button 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. When you're coding with it, you don't know what button 1 means. So you always want to rename your buttons. It says button dog, button cat, button turkey, Birkin. So all those. And now you can see also the tree structure. So this screen 1 is the total parent. Then you have these small buttons. So when I click on screen 1, this is properties for screen 1. When I click on button, this is properties for button dog, and you can see that here. So for all these buttons, what we want to do is we want it to first go all the way across the screen. So you can see you have a height and width here. So my width, I can set the pixels, I can set a percentage, or I can do fill parent. So if I did, let's just say I was guesstimating, I said 300 pixels and I click OK. You can see it kind of goes there. But here's the dilemma with using pixels. If a phone is 4 inches and you do 300 pixels, it might go this far, but let's say it's 10 inches. You don't know the actual, if I wanted to go all the way across, what it's called is fill parent. And you also hear there's a check mark, so you can kind of see, oops, let me get out of this. When you want to see what this looks like, actually it's not working for this. But back to fill parent. Fill parent basically fills the parent. Well, the parent actually here is screen 1. You can see that. So if I say fill parent, no matter if the screen is 4 inches or 10 inches, the width is going to go all the way across the screen. It's going to take up as much space as possible. Now for the height, I'm going to go ahead and make it 150 pixels. So all I did so far with the button dog is I made it fill parent, which means go all the way across the screen, no matter if it's a 3-inch phone, a 4-inch phone, a 6-inch phone, a 10-inch tablet. Send that picture all the way across the screen. I made the height 150. Now you can see it says text for button 1. I don't want it to say that. I actually want it to say dog. If I scroll down, you can see there's a place for me to put in an image. Then you can see I have a text area. So let's do the text area first. So I'm going to say dog. You can see it changes there. I also can change my text color, so let's make it red. I'll scroll up and make it bold. I'm also going to make it, let's say 32. So I have dog. Very simple. Now, remember, looking at the finished product, there was a dog picture in the back, and dog was underneath it. So we've got to find us a picture. So I'm going to look for dog. And I want a mean dog, so let's do pit bull. These dogs are really mean. So let's get this one. Why not? Let's save this image. Again, when you save images, call it exactly what it is. Pit bull, dog, whatever you want to say. Don't leave the default name. Now back over here in AppInventor, I'm still in the button dog. You can see my properties. I'm simply going to go down to image, upload my pit bull image. What happens is you can see it fills that area. So my button dog is complete. Now I need to go ahead and redo this for all of the rest of my things. So again, really simple. Fill parent here, 150. I'm going to say cat. Make this red. Made this 30. Also made it bold. Cat. Save that image as cat. I'm going to go ahead and grab all the images. Turkey, elephant, cow. Turkey. Turkey. Elephant. Wow. Elephant, a cow. What else do I have? Chicken, lion, duck. Chicken. Like that image. Lion. And duck. I like this image. So I saved all my images really fast. Now I can go ahead and redo the rest of this really fast. Now here's something else. I can upload it here, but you also see there's an area called media here. So I'll do this last one. This is cat. I'm going to upload the rest of these actually in my media, and I'll show you what happens. There's my cat. Well, let's go ahead and upload the rest of these pictures under media. So I got to do chicken. I need to upload cow. I need to upload. I uploaded doc. Or did I? Nope. Alright. Elephant. I need to upload. Lion. I did the dog and turkey. So what I just did is I uploaded all these files here. So you can see media is basically any resources that you need in your app. Sound files, videos, images. But you have to be careful. The images, the sound files, everything, your app should not be over 5 megabytes. Think about it. Most apps that you have aren't over 5 megabytes. You don't want to download the app forever if it's 20 megabytes from the Google Play Store. So I've uploaded everything here. I'm going to go ahead now and complete the rest of my steps. So again, I'm going to click on button turkey. Again, I want fill parent. That sends it all the way across the screen. I'm going to change it to 150 pixels like that. I'm going to change the text color to red. I'm going to change the text to turkey. Whoops, not turkery, turkey. Make it bold, and I made it 30. Now, you can see turkey's kind of hidden. Let's do one thing first. So now I don't have to upload it because it's already a part of my app. I simply click on turkey and click it and it shows up. Now, so we have a problem. If you look, I can see 3 buttons. Well, I can't see anything else. You can see I have buttons still down here. Well, here's the dilemma. In the app, you program everything. So we have not programmed our app to scroll. To do that, we have to go back to screen 1. And if you look, scroll down, there's an option here called scrollable. When I click on that, I come back over here. Now I'm saying I want this screen to be scrollable. Now again, if I take it off, it's not scrollable. Whatever's on the screen is going to show up. For this app, right now we want it to scroll. So you can see I can scroll it. Now I can go back into editing my buttons. So again, this is bold, this is 30, this is 150, this is fill parent, my image is my elephant, and this is going to say elephant, and the color is red. So next one, click on my cow. It's bold. Again, we're repeating the steps. 30. This is 150. My width is fill parent. My image, this is for my cow. I'll not upload, I simply want to select it. Change my text to say cow. And I want it red. So next one, again, chicken. Repeating the steps. We got 30. Height is 150. Width is fill parent. This is my chicken. Let's say chicken. Click red. Got 2 more to do. Lion. Width is 150. Fill parent 30. This is my lion. Red. My image to my lion. And my last but not least is my duck. 30, it's bold. The height is 150 pixels. The width is fill parent. The image is of my duck. This is going to say duck. Now this is going to be red. So now you can see I have an app that's basically 8 buttons that has the animal's name and the picture of behind it, and at the very top it says welcome Jamie Gant Animals. So the goal of this app is it's Jamie Gant's favorite animals, but we don't just want a picture. We want when somebody touches the button for it to say this is a dog and roof, or this is a cat and a roof. So first, the second part we're going to actually do is we're going to add the sounds in. So to add the sounds, again, all your apps are going to be built from your palette. So we use this for buttons. If you scroll down under media, so you can get used to sounds. There's a way to code this where you only need one player. But for today, just so you can get used to it, we're going to add 8 sounds. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In theory, we only need one sound and simply change the sound file, but for the interest of practice, you're going to see this. So the new name is going to be S&D for sound, whatever the animal is, dog. S&D, cat, and this is to make it easy for you. S&D, turkey. S&D, elephant. Here's a way to code, have only one sound file and simply code it, but this is, since this is your first app, we're going to do it an easier way and just create 8 different sound files. Got chicken, S&D, lion, and last S&D, duck. So again, you can see all those have been added to my components. I have 8 buttons and I have 8 sound files. Now you see the buttons show up actually on screen because that's something the users can interact with. The sound files are under a part called non-invisible components, and these are show up underneath, which means they're not seen on the screen, but you can program with them. They can interact by doing something using coding. So for buttons, to change it, you can see we click on a button, we change with the properties. For sound, the properties only have minimum, interval, and the source. What do you actually want to play? So first we need to go ahead and find some sound files. And for this, you don't want to use MP3 because MP3 files are larger files. You want to use WAV. WAV are a smaller compressed file format. Remember, there's a 5 megabyte limit for all apps for you to download and to install them. So MP3 files average about 3 megabytes. So one file would actually take up most of your resources. So I'm going to do a simple Google search for animal sounds WAV, WAV. I'm going to get a couple things. WAV source is good, Sound Bible is good. I'm going to show you how to do both. So let's click on both of these. So for WAV source, you can see they have a bunch of different animal sounds. So you can go to animal sounds page 2. And let's, like I have cat, right? If I click on cat, I don't like that. So I like that. Alright? Or a cat screaming. Let's listen to that. So I like that cat screaming. On wave source, you have to right click and you're going to do save link as. And you can see, call it cat. I'm going to click save. And what that does is you can see it saves cat.wave on Sound Bible, for instance, I had lion. I'm going to click on the actual, it's going to play it for you, but you can see you have two options. You can download the WAV file or the MP3 here. Click on the WAV file. Again, I'm just going to rename it what it is, lion. So I need dog, turkey, elephant, cow, chicken. So dog, this is a dog, turkey, so let's go ahead and grab this. That's a long, that's a long dog sound. This is a turkey. Download that. I need chicken. Okay, rooster will do. What else do I need? Duck, lion, elephant. And again, you have to use multiple places, so let's see if we have a duck. Oh, let's go back. And duck. So you can see I'm saving all these to the same place. I have a cat, I need a chicken, I need a cow, elephant, cat, chicken, cow. There's no elephant on there. So page 2, maybe. So again, on wave source, do right clicks, do save link as. And do a quick check. What other sounds do I need? I have cat, I have chicken, I have turkey, I have dog, I have duck, I have elephant, and I need a lion. I have all my sounds. Alright, same thing. Over here under media, I'm going to upload all these files. So these are my wave files. There's my cat.wave. Upload that. Let's go underneath. I need a cow. We don't have a cow. I have my dog.wave. Dog is too big. Okay, I'm gonna have to go find a different dog, and that goes to the file size. So let me go ahead and do my duck. Do my elephant. Lion. My chicken. And what else am I missing? My turkey. So I need to go download another dog and another cow. So let's say dog growl. Let's hear it. I like that. So we're going to save this again on wave source. You got to do right click, save link as, and say dog, and I'll replace it. Sure. Now let's see over an animal. Let's see if I have a cow. I do. Single cow. Cow, 3 moves. Let's see. I like that one. So again, you click on the wave icon and you save it. So lastly, upload my two last sounds. A lot of repetition here. Getting used to AppInventor. Upload my cow. And upload my dog. So again, media is all your files that you can use. So I have these sound files: sound dog, sound cat, sound turkey. Again, the property only allows for a source. Since I already uploaded them, sound dog, I simply have to go find my dog wave. Sound cat is my cat wave. Sound turkey is obviously my turkey wave. And I'm linking up the rest of these. Sound cow, sound chicken, which is the rooster, and sound lion. Not the picture, but lion wave. Then sound duck lastly. So what have we done so far? We've designed our app. We've dragged some components, two components in particular. We've dragged our button in there and modified it. We also dragged a sound, not a player, but a sound in there, and we modified it. For the buttons, we added an image as the background. We did that using properties. We also changed the width to fill parent, which means go all the way across the screen, no matter what the size of the phone or tablet. We also made the height 150. We uploaded a picture of the animal. We also typed the name of the animal in our text box. We changed the color of it, and we changed the font size and that. For the sounds, we simply uploaded the sounds, and we put the source of what the sound file should be. So sound dog is dog.wave. So now we need to program it. So this is actually called designer view because you're designing. You're using components, you're dragging them there, you're customizing the properties of them, and you're building out your app. You're designing it. To code your app, again, when they touch on the dog picture, we want it to play the dog sound. On the right side, you see designer, because we were designing. Now you see blocks. So go ahead and click on blocks. When you do that, you have an open canvas. This is your coding area. You have a bunch of blocks here, and that's why it's called blocks, because you're going to code with blocks that fit together like puzzle pieces. You have a couple built-in features here, but then again, look at what you have right below that. You have screen 1, which you could change some of the properties to. You have all 8 of your buttons, and you have all 8 of your sounds. So just like on designer view, on the left side you have your palette and you pull things to the screen to design. On blocks view or coding view, you're going to have your components or blocks that you can code with, and you're going to pull them to the screen. So we want to code when someone touches a button to play the animal sound. And we also want to say this is a dog, this is a cat. Well, let's first just deal with the sound of it. If I click on button dog, you can see these are your coding blocks, what I'm talking about. And for buttons, you have some green blocks and you have some brown blocks. The brown blocks are your event listeners. So think about an app, and we talked about event-driven programming. Event-driven programming, every app you do waits for an event. An event could be shaking your phone. An event can be touching a button. An event can be dragging an Angry Bird back to shoot it. It waits for an event. Events are these brown blocks. So you can see for all the buttons I have, my event could be a click. It could be got focus, which means someone moves their finger over it. Long click means they're holding down. Lost focus means they move their finger off of it. Touch down, touch up. Those are all your events, and they're brown. Now your green blocks. You have background color, enabled, font bold, font italic, font size, height, image, text. All these green blocks are your properties associated with that button. If you look back at designer view for button, all of these, everything in properties is actually all of your green blocks. So you can actually change properties in code. But for this activity so far, what we want to do is simply when they click on the button, it plays the animal sound. So I'm going to take button dog. I'm going to drag that block out. When button dog dot click. What do I want it to do? I want it to play a sound. So if I coded when someone touches the button by clicking on button dog, if I want it to play that sound, I need to go click on sound dog. Now you can see here, for sound dog, they don't have any event blocks, which is the brown blocks. They have some purple blocks, which are your actions. It's going to do something. But it does have these properties. Again, the source. You can change the source. And minimum interval. And those come, again, if you look under sound, these are your properties here, minimum interval and source. If you look back here, you can change those here in coding as well. But your action blocks for sound, you have pause, play, resume, stop, and vibrate for a certain amount of milliseconds. So you can see, what do we want it to do? When someone touches a dog, we want it to play the dog sound. So I'm going to drag that to the screen. Now how the coding works is very introductory. The blocks snap together. The logic still has to work, but the blocks, if they fit together, they'll work. So if I grab this and put it in here, what this coding block says, when button dog is clicked, what do you want it to do? You want to call sound dog play. And sound dog play, again, is the sound file that we uploaded. So we're going to repeat this, and then you're going to try to test your app. So again, I can just drag all these out, play. I'll do two of them like this. And I'll do this. And then I'm going to show you some shortcuts. So 1, 2, 3. So button cat click, I want it to play that. When button turkey click, I want it to do that. When button elephant click, I want it to play the elephant. So I did it that way. I simply dragged it out and I pasted it in. But I could actually, if you do control copy, and then you can paste, you can see I can copy that block. Now you can see there's an error message here. If I click on the error message, it says there's a duplicate handler, which means you can't have the same block twice. So I have one button dog click and I have one button dog click. I'm going to change that. I'm just showing you a shorter way to drag everything out. So I already have my cat, my dog, my turkey, my elephant. I'm going to change that to button cow. I'll change this to button cow. Copy and paste it. Change this to button chicken. Change this to button chicken. Change this to lion. When someone clicks on the lion, I want it to play the lion sound. And lastly, someone clicks on the duck, I want it to play the duck sound. So with this coding block, what we've done is actually completed your first app. This is the first level of it. All these blocks say, when someone clicks on button dog, play the button dog sound. When someone clicks on button cat, play the cat sound. Come back here, you designed it this way, so it looks like this. And then you've coded it in the background to play these sounds. So go ahead and test your app. So now that you've tested your app, we want to add some additional features. Remember, we had the buttons were next to each other, and we also want to make it speak. So right now this is filling parent. It's going all the way across the screen. Well, if we want things horizontally next to each other, there's a tab over here called Layout. You can see you have table arrangement, vertical arrangement, and horizontal arrangement. I'm going to go ahead and do horizontal arrangement. And you can see it drags it in here. So horizontal arrangement right now it's a block, but I want to go all the way across the screen. So again, that option is fill parent. And what I want to do now is I'm going to drag the dog inside of there. So right now the dog is filling the parent. The parent is actually this horizontal arrangement one. Now watch what happens when I drag the cat inside of this horizontal arrangement. Now they're actually spaced equally. And what it's doing, the parent, horizontal arrangement's parent is screen 1, which means go all the way across the screen. Button dog says fill parent. Its parent is horizontal arrangement. But button cat also says I want to fill the parent as well. And the parent is horizontal arrangement. So basically they split the space evenly, because cat says I need to fill as much space as possible, and dog says I need to fill as much space as possible. So if this is the space, it's going to be equal. Again, if I drag another turkey in there, you can see it splits. So if I drag, it continues to split evenly because all of them are saying I need as much space as possible. And if something else needs as much space, it's going to make them even. Well, what we had was rows of 2, so I'm going to go ahead and drag three other horizontal arrangements out. I'm going to do fill parent for these. Turkey and my elephant will be in this one. In this one I'll put my cow and my chicken. I need one more. And I need to make my with fill parent. And I put my lion and my duck. So now you can see I have my 8 rows. And it's basically, if you look at the components, I have a horizontal arrangement with 2 buttons in there for each one of these. Now, each one of these buttons we made to 150. I don't want it to be 150. I want it to be whatever my parent is. So versus having 150, 150, I'm going to change the height of my horizontal arrangement to 150 one time. And I'll change my button width now to fill parent.
Teachers, please turn on your TV so channel.
So I'll go back to my cat, fill parent. And again, the parent is horizontal arrangement. That height is 150. So if I change this to 100, watch what happens to my buttons. They actually go to whatever the size of that parent is. So I want to do that. I'm going to make these, the height for my horizontal arrangements, 100. And the height for my buttons to be whatever my parent is, or that horizontal arrangement. Width for this one, height is going to be 100. The height for my buttons will be whatever that horizontal arrangement is to fill parent. Lastly, height is going to be 100. And for these buttons, I'm going to fill the parent. So now you can see all of my buttons pretty much fit on screen. Now, I like to rename everything because horizontal arrangement 1, 2, 3 doesn't mean anything. My renaming convention is HDiv or ARR for horizontal arrangement. But I usually do HDiv row 1. Or if it's a specific name, Let's say that was your gaming platform where you had stuff in, you would call it hdiv score. So I'm going to say hdiv row 2, hdiv row 3, hdiv row 4. So I can do that. Or if I wanted to be more specific, like I was talking about, hdiv dog cat, because it contains the dog and the cat. This is the hdiv, and div stands for division. Turkey elephant. This is the hdiv chicken cow. And this is the hdiv lion duck. And the reason we rename these is when you're coding, you want to know what you are referencing. If I just had horizontal arrangement or hdiv row 1, what does that mean? What is contained inside of it? But if I have hdiv dog cat, I know I could actually change some of these properties in coding because I know exactly what I'm using. So very simple, we made our 8 rows. Now next up, we want our app works, it makes a dog sound, but we want it to speak. We want it to say this is a dog, this is a cat, and then say the cat sound. So there's a component under media, and so go ahead and click on that. And we used sound before, but here's a component called text-to-speech. And what text-to-speech does, you supply it with some text and it will speak in the default Android device's voice. If the voice on your phone is a woman, in that woman's voice it'll say this is a dog. So we're going to drag text-to-speech to our screen. Nothing shows up because it's a component you code with. Look at the very bottom, you can see text-to-speech 1. You only need one text-to-speech per app because it's simply going to repeat whatever you want it to say. If you look at the properties, you can set the country, you can set the language, English, Spanish, France, the pitch, and the speech rate. You can make it faster. So we want to code with this. We can go ahead to our blocks, and here's our current code. And again, just like on the designer view, you're going to code with your blocks on the left side by dragging them to your coding screen. I'm going to scroll down. At the very bottom, you can see text-to-speech. So I click on that. Now you can see text-to-speech is different. It has 2 events that can happen, and you can code inside there. Text-to-speech after speaking. So after speaking, you could actually have it do something with the result. Before it speaks, you could actually have it speak or do something. Lastly, those are your 2 events. You have an action block, speak with a message. Then you have all the properties. Again, remember you had the country, language, pitch, speech rate, so you can program with those. We simply want to give it a message. So we're going to grab our action, and let's just do dog for right now. Let's give myself some space for all of these. Put all these down. So let's work with dog for right now. So you can see I simply dragged text-to-speech above sound play. And all these can be moved around or pulled out and stacked. So this can get very long and complicated if you want. But we're going to simply we want it to say this is a dog. So the message needs to be put in here. And again, I mentioned some built-in blocks on the left side. And it says text-to-speech, so we're going to click on text. Inside of text, you can see the first block is an empty text block where you can type in whatever you want. Go ahead and drag this out. And you can see it fits right in here. So what is the message that we want it to say? This is a dog. So by simply doing this block of code, when the button dog is clicked, I want you to speak the message, this is a dog. Then play the dog sound. That block of code works, and it would work. So go ahead and test your app now and see that this works. We want to copy those blocks. So I'm going to do, let's just do elephant over here. I'm going to copy this block. Remember, Control C, Control V on the Apple command. But see, I want to find a way where I don't have to retype this last part, dog. Because now this should say this is an elephant. Well, let's go back and look at Designer. So our app actually already has the names of the animals: dog, cat, turkey, elephant, chicken, cow, lion, and duck. And we type these in our properties. Scroll down, and one of our properties called text. Look under cat, you can see I typed it there. Elephant, I typed it there. Cow, I typed it there. Since we typed it already, it's already shown, we can grab this, because remember, anything in properties can be accessed for code using the green blocks. So let's go back here. So I have this is a dog, this is a dog. Well, dog, if I click on button dog, my green blocks is my properties. Remember, I typed it in an area called button text. So now I have this is, and this block right here, button dog.text, is the word dog. And I know that because if I come back here, you see text, it says dog. So that is equal to this block. So I want to find a way to say this is a, and use this block. So I can actually get rid of this. This is a, and I want to have dog down here, but I have to join these somehow. So we grab this block from text. So let's go look at text again. And if I scroll back to the very top, we use this block, but look right below it. It has a join statement with two text parts that you can put in. So I'm going to grab this. And this part is dog. This part says this is a. And now look what happens. This fits in here cleverly. So now what this block of code says, when someone clicks on dog, speak the message, this is a, whatever we typed in the text part, which for this one it says dog, and play the dog sound. If I delete this block, and copy this, and simply change button dog to button elephant, the same block of code would say speak this is a, whatever we put in the text box for a button elephant. Let's go check it. Inside of the text for elephant is elephant. So it would say this is an elephant, and then it would play the animal sound. So repeat the steps for this, and then test your app. Your app should say, when you click on it, this is a dog, and then play the animal sound. This is an elephant, and play the animal sound. Repeat these steps now. So now, you should have all of your code blocks coded like this. You tested your app. It works. When you click on it, it says this is a dog, and it plays the dog sound. This is a cat, and plays the dog sound. You can actually install your app using build, use the QR code, and install it and test it on your app. Or you can use, again, connect, or you can watch our video on how to install and test your app using AppInventor. So the last part, we're almost done. We created an app of our favorite 8 animals. We have pictures of the animals, we have sounds of the animals, we also have the app talking to us. We want to add one other component. You want to give some user instructions. So when someone opens up this app, we're going to have a message there. And we want it to speak the message. We want it to say, welcome. Click on my favorite animals to hear their sounds. So we've used components, buttons, sounds, and text-to-speech. So the last component you're going to use underneath user interface is going to be one that you're going to use a lot throughout this course. And that's going to be a label. Labels are simply text components that are shown to your users of your apps. For example, in a game where you see a score, for example, labels will be used when you're playing a game. When you see score and that score is changed, that's simply a label. That label text is simply changing from 100, 200, 300 as you score. So we're going to get introduced to labels by simply dragging one and putting it above our buttons. You can see it says label 1 here. Again, I like to rename all of my files so I know what they are, because label 1 means nothing when you're coding. So I'm going to do LBL for label. I'm going to type user MSG for user message. Right now it looks like nothing's shown, but that's because I have a black background and the text color is black. But if I change it to yellow, you can see it actually says text for label 1. And my properties, I can change the background color, font, typical stuff, height, width, text I want to put in there, how I want to align it, stuff like that. So I want to go ahead, obviously I want to make it fill parent, and I want to say click below to hear my favorite animal sounds. I might want that centered. I might want it bold. I want it italics. And let's see, do I want it bigger? Yeah, I like it bigger. So simply a label, it's just like text that's shown to your user. You can see you can customize all these things. And mine's, I have click below to hear my favorite animal sounds. So now, again, the last part of this is I want it to speak. When my app opens up to this screen, I want it to say, welcome. Click below to hear my favorite animal sounds. So we're going to code. Click on blocks. I'm going to hide these for right now. And if I want to code the app, it's actually collapse blocks. So I have all my blocks here. So when the screen opens, that's an event. When the screen, someone pushes back on their phone, that's an event. So we want to program those type of events, and we want to, whenever the screen opens, we want to say welcome, click on the message that we just typed. So just like we clicked on these to program with these, I want to click on screen. And you see screen 1, I can access any of those properties, and these again are the same thing. If I click on screen 1, are these, I can change those. But also screen 1 has a couple events at the very top when back is pressed. So if someone pushes back on their phone, you can code something in there. If an error occurred on the screen, you can actually catch that error message and code it. You have initialize, you have other screen close, screen orientation change. So if it's portrait and they flip it, you can code it to do something. So what we want is when the app opens, it's going to say welcome to Jamie Gant's favorite apps. Click below to the message that you just typed in, that user message. So when the screen opens, that's called screen initialize. I'm going to go ahead and drag that out to the screen. From there, we want it to speak. So we've already used this before. You see text-to-speech. Click on that. I'm going to go ahead and drag my speak inside of screen initialize. So now I have, when screen initialize, I have speak, and I have the message. What do I want the message to say? I want it to say welcome, and then I want it to read the message that is actually under label message. Remember, we typed that in a property box called text. You can see it here. So I'm going to have two parts again, and we've done this. Click on text. I'm going to need a blank part. I'm also going to need a join statement. I'm also going to need under label user message. Remember, these are all the properties. I typed my message inside of label user message text. So now I have the three parts that I need to complete my code. First thing I want to say is welcome. I want to say welcome like this. And then I want to say whatever's in here. So first part goes there. It's going to say welcome. This is going to be the message that I typed. Then I'm simply going to put that entire message inside of screen initialize. So what this block of code says is when the screen opens, I want you to speak the message welcome, whatever you typed in your user message. In this instance, we typed click below to hear my favorite animal sounds. And with that, your app is actually done. So I want you to test your app using Connect, and then you need to turn this in. You can watch the following video on how to turn in and build your portfolio page.